Hello and welcome to Faith in an Ever-Changing World, Encouragement and Hope. Thank you for joining us today, and I'm excited to introduce you to my guest, Ron Moore.
Good
And
morning.
Ron is a pastor, evangelist, author, radio, and television personality. Wow. And you can read a lot more about Ron in the post. So please do so that you can learn all about what Ron has been doing and is doing. And right after, hi, Ron, I did want to say hello and welcome you.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
It's the day the Lord's made.
That's right. Absolutely. We shall rejoice and be glad in it.
Well, you might as well because you're not going to get another one today. So
That's right.
make the
That's
choice
right.
to rejoice is what I've told people for years.
There you go, Ron. All right. Well, right after our brief intro, we're going to learn more about Ron Moore. So stay with us. And we're back. Thanks for getting back with us. And Ron, what has God given you to do in this season? And how is faith helping you do it?
Well, gosh, this is exciting season, and this is a season of my life that I never thought that I would be where I'm at
Oh,
necessarily, like a lot of baby boomers.
yes, like a
But
lot of us. Yes,
But it's an exciting season because I know that God has a calling on my life and he's not through yet, even
right.
though, a lot of people my age, which I am over 50, well over 50, but I am over 50. A lot of people
Me
just
too.
say, well, it's just time to grow old and just kind of putter around. And yet,
Get that.
one of the things that I have found and have just encouraged people for many years and have this as a real conviction actually that as long as God gives us breath to breathe, he has somebody for us to touch with his love.
Right,
I mean, if
right.
we know the Lord Jesus, then he has a real purpose and a real
Yeah.
meaning in our life. And so, I
Amen.
was called into ministry as an 11-year-old boy. Now,
Oh,
I didn't start preaching. I put off, ran from God till I was 14. And when I was 14, God just opened up doors for me to preach, and I had a radical experience with the Lord Jesus at a youth camp,
mm,
and was just wow. I mean, I was on fire for Jesus. People
woo.
said I'd witnessed to anything that moved, and a couple of things that didn't move. They said I witnessed to a fire hydrant a time or two.
Oh my goodness.
Which was great. What was great is I had 2 fire hydrants get saved one time, but
Oh,
so I went from there, but my life though, has not been exactly what I thought. I mean, in other words, I went from traveling in some of the greatest crusades in American history with a couple of evangelists. That sounds a lot better when you say evangelist rather than just evangelist.
yes.
So with a couple of evangelists in that era who were preaching to huge churches and football stadiums and stuff. And by the name of one guy by the name of James Robinson, another guy by the name of Richard Hogue, and exciting times during the Jesus movement then. And so I went from that to being Private R.F. Moore, United States Marine Corps. And,
Wow.
and so I really felt like God led me to do that. And in fact, I once I felt like it was time for me to do my duty for my country. I was at a military graveyard in Denver, Colorado, and so I felt like God had called me to do that, and I went back and fasted. Went back to my apartment, fasted and prayed for 3 days about it,
Oh,
and felt the green light,
yeah.
to go, and so it was a great experience. I mean, praise God for that experience because it definitely shapes who I am today. I mean, if I had not been in the Marine Corps, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be in the shape that I'm in today.
Yeah.
And the great experience, got to win a lot of guys to Jesus there.
Yeah.
Actually had the great privilege of preaching the first revival meetings in base chapels before
Wow.
that had ever taken place in the history of the South Pacific. And so it was a great time. But from there and then went and so saying all that to say, so at this time of my life, about 25 years ago, God called me to switch from the four-wall pastorate to a media ministry, to being on radio and television, and had the great honor of being the Oklahoma voice, the Central Oklahoma voice for K-Love Radio, and worked with great people during that time, and I really, I felt like I got to pastor the whole city in many ways, because I got to just speak nuggets of truth. But saying all that to say this, and I still feel it was around that time that I believe God called me to do a television show that would run a mission behind the enemy lines on secular television, and so and bring hope and encouragement to people.
Yeah.
So as I was, as that has been, I mean, you talk about a process. Let me just tell you.
I'll bet.
Oh my, God does not tell you everything up front. Let me just tell you most of it, because if He had told me it's going to take this long, I'd have said, Lord, you need somebody a little bit younger,
Oh yeah.
Good night.
What's the name of the show?
The name of the show is Survivors in the Game of Life.
Oh.
And it's not an in-your-face turn or burn. You're going to die and fry. I mean, it's not one of those shows, but it's a show that really, like I say, is a backdoor witness. I mean, in other words, it's got kind of what we call light faith on the air.
Right.
Because we focus on people who have been on the verge of disaster with their marriage, their health, their finances, their careers, or with their children, how they turned it all around.
Now, where can we see that? Where can we see the show?
Well, you can't yet. We've got a pilot shot, but right now, yes, ma'am. And in fact, I mean, who goes to Hollywood when they're this age, But I went to Hollywood and on one family. Actually, before I left, and this is a good word of encouragement to people, because prior to me going, just a short time before we go, I had buried the thing. I said, well, Lord, obviously I didn't hear from you, and somebody's listening out there today right now that's saying, man, I got a dream like that. I got a calling like that. Because I feel this is a real calling for me. And yet I thought, well, okay, Lord, it hadn't happened. It's been like 15 years and done all I knew to do. And it won't, it's probably not, I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time that I thought you called me to do something. Won't be the last, probably, but you really didn't, but I just thought you did. How many of you have been there? Yeah.
Yes.
So I had given it a proper burial. And then I get a call from a sister in the Lord out on the West Coast. Her husband had become friends of mine through the Christian Media Association here in Dallas, as a matter of fact. And she said, that television show you've been trying to, she said, send me what information you got on it. She said, I kind of think I know a producer that I think may be able to make that happen for you.
Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. This thing, it's over. You got to understand. But, that spark in me. So rather than just send her I sent her the stuff, but I thought, well, let me go out there and just use my gift of stirring it up. That's a spiritual gift of mine, stirring it up. And so I thought, well, I'll just go out there and stir it up, see what I could find. I had a contact at ABC, and it was pretty cool driving into the Disney lot. And they said, yes, Mr. Moore, your name's on the list here to come on through the game. And so I thought, well, I'll stay there, for 2 weeks. Well, ended up staying there for 3 years. And
wow.
See, God tricked me. He didn't tell me.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. But met some great people. And because of being there, we had a pilot shot that I mean, it's ready for network television.
Yeah.
And here's the great thing. We shot it for pennies on the dollar of what I could have shot it for here in Dallas.
Wow.
I mean, just incredible how God works, and let my path cross a little director producer, 28-year-old who said, well, man, I want to do something that counts. So anyway, God just put that together and allowed me to meet people. I'm telling you, was in Bible study with Diane Cannon.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Was on the Warner Brothers lot weekly for Bible study. People that are a witness there. And in fact, the little gal who got the Bible study going on Warner Brothers lot, God used her to actually get Bible studies going on several other major studio lots. And so, God is doing something out there.
He's moving.
He is. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so anyway, got the pilot shot, I'm represented with a management firm, with an entertainment company who are trying to sell it. And so through all that, just met the Christian community, you might say, in Hollywood. And so it, now, has this thing sold yet? No, it hasn't. But
God has a plan.
God is using this thing.
Yes, He called you to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, it'll get you through it. Yeah.
Yes. Our pilot, the title of our pilot is "It Ain't Over Till It's Over."
Right.
And so it's about a couple. And in fact, when I had a note, because once we got funded for the pilot, I thought, okay, Lord, who can I find out here? And which one? Because I've made notes through the years. I've made a lot of notes through the years, and so I came across a note in my little Franklin planner, and yes, I am a Franklin geek. And so I made notes. I found a note that said marriage boot camp, and the name of a gal and a number. And I had made a note saying possible stories for the show. So I thought, well, I wonder if this is, I wonder if this is, if they have anybody, if this is a national organization, if they have anybody out here on the left coast. So I after a few days of trying to finally made contact with her. And she said, in 24 hours, she loved the concept of the show. And she said, within 24 hours, I will have in your inbox, in your email, the names of several couples who are willing to share their story. And so I think 24 hours. Yeah, that means 3 or 4 days, And I'm saying 24 hours. Boom, boom, boom. They started coming in. And one of the ones said their story involves drug abuse, adultery, and physical abuse. I said, sounds like a made for TV.
Wow.
Story, And so we got with them, great couple. Were willing to get raw and walk through it. Even did the reenactments. In fact, they were at this point, because it had been years ago. At this point, they were pastoring a little church in Long Beach, and so now they travel the country doing marriage workshops. But so we got this thing shot, and they did just a great job on this thing. And so the fact that you just, and in fact, I told the executive producer of The Chosen, Chad Gunderson, a buddy of mine for years, I said, it's your fault. He called me Saturday. I said, it's your fault that I'm still doing this. Because I said, you're the one when I was wanting to quit that said, you can't quit. And
no.
And so we focus in and, on what really happened, real people. I mean, it's a real reality show, but it's a biblical principle here, Janet. It's a biblical principle because, in the Word of God, the more you see in the Word of God, you see so many examples of people who are facing life and death situations, where they were about to lose their toga and their chariot, and they're about to lose it all, and yet God intervenes for them. And so so the more you read that, you say, hey, if God can do it for them, He can do it for me. So that's the principle of this show, is that they'll see real life characters, and Bubba and Earlene will be watching this show about their marriage. I mean, these people they put the dits in dysfunctional. In fact, I say that on the show. And
oh my goodness.
Hey, Mama, God can do it for them. Turn their marriage around. We're not near as messed up as they are. So by God, He can do it for us. You know.
Well, Ron, we look forward to this show, and that we know that God is just going to keep on moving, and so we'll be able to be seeing it in the future soon.
Well, we just believe that, and
yes, absolutely.
But so my point is, don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. I mean, you're going to have times of being knocked down.
That is exactly.
Pick yourself up.
Amen.
Yes, and keep and if God called you, see, here's the thing. I look back to the time. That and Janet, I wish I could say that I hear God tell me which shirt to wear and everything, which direction to turn at a stoplight. But but there have been those times that I know well, God spoke to me, and so it was that time 19 years ago in I think late January, early February, that I was just walking, talking. I said, Lord, I don't know how I could do this on secular television. Because I knew he'd call. I mean, he was dealing with me about being on secular television. I said, Lord, I've always been pretty bold in my witness. Mm-hmm. And that's when I believe God said, do you remember what John McKay told you years ago before you went in boot camp? Now, John McKay used to do the music for James Robinson's crusades. And I was with him in Houston, Texas, the week before I went to boot camp. And so he said, now, Ron, I know you like to tell everybody and their dog about Jesus. But he said, when you get to boot camp, I think it just makes sense if you just keep your mouth shut for about a month, let them see your life, and then, begin to share the gospel. Mm-hmm. So at a rare teachable moment for a 19-year-old who knew it all, as most 19-year-olds, I said, yeah, that makes sense, And so anyway, that he went on. I said, yes, Lord, I remember that. So the Lord went on to say, win the hearts of America, earn the right to witness.
Right.
So anyway, that's just kind of what that was the gauntlet that was thrown down, and so that's kind of what we're doing,
That's
and
awesome.
Just going there, and it will be very much something that when you that you can go to our website, you'll always get the gospel, and you'll hear the full stories of the people who weren't quite as up front,
right.
Like on our pilot episode, when the wife says, I had to realize that my identity was not in my husband. Mm. Well, then on the when we give them about 10 minutes in front of a camera to be, she'll say, well, I said my identity wasn't in my husband. That's because my identity is in the Lord Jesus.
Yes.
And if yours is not, you can know it. So anyway, that's kind of got so many good shows lined up. About people who have made comebacks from the verge of disaster.
That is awesome.
And
that's awesome.
So I believe it's something God's going to use. So I am going forward, believing, Lord, I'm just going to trust you, and whatever you choose to do in this, you've already used it. And even if it's like one of my best friends from the 6th grade told me, he said, Ron, this may not be about a TV show. This may have been about the thousands of lives you've touched all these years as you've just gone everywhere sharing Jesus with people.
Yeah. So, God's timing is the most perfect timing. It's always perfect.
To God be the glory.
Ron, I'd like to put up some information here. You can find Ron on Facebook. And so if you want to connect with him, I invite you to connect with Ron on Facebook, and also his wife Deborah, and they actually do a Sunday evening.
Yes.
Yes, for Facebook. So,
Ron and Deb Unplugged. Yeah, we are.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Thank you so very much, Ron.
Thank you.
Joining me today. What a pleasure it's been. Just a joy.
It's good to be on your show, and I really
appreciate it. I know the Lord is going to continue to use you and all the skills and talents that He's given you.
Thank you so much, and please be praying for us.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you all for watching. I do want to shout out for Abundant Television Network, just a great network for you and your family. Please share this video And follow me on Spotify and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. See you next time.